Welcome back. The music of the Afrikan Time Quartet will be in conversation with the Black Liberation Theologies in their quest to make sense of the lived realities of black people on the backdrop of the liberatory message of Christianity. Black Liberation Theologians, Professor Anthony Reddie, a professor of Black Theology at Oxford University, and Dr. Lerato Kobe of the University of South Africa will bring about dimensions of Black Liberation Theology to this performance. The purpose and hope of this concert is to convey African time messages that come from the music of people by the people, drawn from the teachings of multiple located spaces to create one voice. For more on this conversation, we are happy to be joined in studio by South African award-winning jazz bassist Herbie Tsoaeli and Dr. Lerato Kobe from the University of South Africa. Very good morning to you too. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure having you join us this morning. Herbie, I'm going to start with you. Just share with us how the Afrikan Time Quartet's music reflect the lived experiences of black people.
Wow, it reflects because it's a memory. Heritage, you know, because it's when you were young, all these memories we carry them through and up to at this point in time, you know. So hence the music is music of the people, from the people, by the people as well. Because those are the experience, the journey I've been through in all my life. You know? So yes.
So how does your journey then and your musical prowess find expression in this project?
It finds expression because when you talk about black theology and the church and all those kind of, because what I'm, let's say, African time music really projects, exudes the life lived. You know, it could be, you know, remember in our located spaces, there's a lot of it's a located spaces and institution has been an institution to me.
Yes.
You know, from the black experience, because you find that there's so much sound in the surroundings, in all our located spaces. There's so much sounds in the surroundings of our located spaces, no township located spaces. You know. Because you find that you've got traditional healers, you've got Mikiti going left and right, you've got churches, you've got Amazaiwani going on there, you've got people coming from the stadiums, you've got I used to call them like community centers. They were so much vibrant stuff going on, you know, around here. So this African time music was to take, this is how I want to take this message to the people.
Got you. Now, Dr. Kobe, let me also bring you into this conversation. I suppose the gist of this project is the nexus or the intersection between, religion, Christianity, and as well as music. So how does the Black Liberation Theology intersect with music as a tool for social change?
Well, for Black theology first, before we could, as Black academics, can be able to write anything, it was the music that was able to archive Black experience. So within the context of the church, for example, we talk about the Black spirituals, which is just for us falls into that kind of line. Okay. Because this is the music that Black people used to express themselves, whether in the Americans, in slavery, or in South Africa. If you remember also, people like Tsikane in the 1800s composed some songs, which Cornel West actually, is it 2022, made a assertion that the very first Black theologian is Tsikane in his conversation between jazz and Black theology. So that's where we come in.
And how do the tenets of the Black Liberation Theology explode in this concert?
So Black theology is more about the Black experience, because in America, Black theology is traced from James Cone, who tried to actually make a contribution as an academic to the civil rights movement. But in South Africa, at the same time, there was someone called Steve Biko, who then
yes.
in South Africa we call the father of black theology,
Yeah.
who also tried to engage the discourse. So we are in the context of 30 years of democracy in South Africa, trying again to go back to the archive, to go back at how these guys have always sort of like did work together.
Yes.
It was the music, I mean, people like Nina Simone, for example, what the music they have done, even you, Miriam Makeba, have done.
Right,
so for us, and I think maybe I must talk to this, black theology doesn't just engage Christianity, it also engages African spirituality. And that's what is interesting about jazz and the African time music.
Wow, it's quite interesting that you bring about the topic of African spirituality and Christianity, because it's always been a contentious topic. Some people opining that you can't fuse those two, you can't use those two in the same sentence. And I want both of you to respond to this, the concept of the liberatory message in Christianity, how that sort of relate to black experiences.
So I guess as a theologian, black people have sort of like found a meaning in the story of Jesus. Because they will say in black theology, there is no one who narrates what it means to live under empire, under oppression like Jesus, because we tend to forget that Jesus actually was an oppressed person. So we always read his story from an empire position. This Messiah who just had this good time I'm just coming to save you. But Jesus' message was very political, as much as it was also spiritual. And I guess even how it defines spirituality is, for black theologians is totally different from others, how they've defined, for example, Western theology. Yes.
Dr. Tsoaeli, do you want to share the specific musical compositions or narrations or improvisations, of course, that resonate with the Black Liberation Theology narrative?
To share those kind of... I would say the music really that I want to put forth there, it's one of... I remember my grandmother used to take me to church so many times, I used to frequent church, like, that's why I have church within me now. I don't normally go to the establishment much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's within me now, church, So I'm trying to draw all from the... Because we remember we've got, as black people, there's so much... our heritage is stored in so much big vaults, whether being writing, poetry, music, this and that. That's why she was saying we are going back to the archives, because remember, there were those before us anyway. So we all drawing all from those inspirations, So just,
And Dr. Kobe, he just touched on a black heritage being stored in vaults. Do you get a sense that there is enough unleashing of that heritage in whatever form, in whatever art form? It could be music, it could be dance, it could be any other creative activity.
I do think there is. It's just that from the perspective of the academics, we are always in ivory towers. And I think that's why for us it's important to have this concert with the Center for Black Thought and African Studies, because they are doing what they do within a community and with the students. So then they are bringing black theology and just to the community, to the masses. And sometimes we just get stuck in academia, and we can write so many articles, they have no meaning if our people are not consuming this. So in that relationship, for example, we talk about language in South Africa, we need to create this language. But people are already speaking Ispitori, for example. It's a combination of many languages. That's the arts. Where,
Zutu.
I mean, even the clothes.
It's corrupting a language. Because in our located spaces, it's called Tokitalo or whatever, but it's to corrupt it.
All right. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We needed more time for this because, there's so much information that we needed to unleash. But just briefly, please share the details of the concert.
We are playing at, where is the concert? At
Seth Mokiti
yeah.
In Pietermaritzburg.
Okay.
I think it's Scottville Street, and the tickets are on Quicket.
Okay.
Yes.
On the 28th.
On the 28th.
All right.
Yes.
All
And
right.
also, I would love to tell the people Kwamashu, I'll be there on the 26th, Heritage Day, from 6 o'clock.
Right.
And the chairman on the 27th to Pietermaritzburg, Mkungulov.
All right. Great chatting to you. Thank you so much for coming through and joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, many thanks to Herbie Tsoaeli and Dr. Lerato Kobe for joining us today to explore the powerful intersection of music and Black liberation theology.